Many of you probably know that I spent a decade in county government as a county commissioner. And I had the opportunity on occasion, probably more than on occasion, frequently, to speak. And I also had the occasion to speak to what I'll call, I'm not going to get into politics here, okay, just let everybody know, but I'll call a little bit more conservative people. And spoke at a lot of churches, a lot of breakfasts and things like that. And I would always get from people this, government needs to be smaller, right? It's not efficient, the whole litany of things. And I'd be like, I agree with you, right? Government's too big. It needs to be smaller. It needs to be more efficient. We don't need more taxes. But I had this sort of epiphany moment somewhere about the middle of my career as a county commissioner where I would hear these things and I'm like, yeah, I agree philosophically with that. But then I would see things, right? I would see things that I knew were needs in the community, whether it was drug and alcohol addictions, mental health, homelessness, aging, children and youth, foster. I can go down the list of things. And so one day I was looking at the budget, and the county budget then, I don't know what it is now, but it was about $500 million, so $500 million. And the epiphany moment I had is I started looking at the budget, and I realized, don't quote me on all these things, but let's just say 70% of that budget, so let's say it's $500 million, $350 million, $300 million of that budget, 70% of that budget is going to what we call the human services arena, right? Helping people who are in need, children and youth, area agency on aging, the prison system, probation, mental health, a whole list of things. And the epiphany moment that I had thinking about all the times that I've spoke to people and they're saying, hey, we got to make government smaller, we got to make it smaller. God took me to Matthew 25 and the parable of the sheep and the goats. And I won't read the whole thing for you, but he says, hey, how did we know you were there? And he says, well, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. And so this light bulb moment went off for me, and I'm thinking, okay, Jesus is telling us in this parable that we as a church are responsible for the people that are thirsty, hungry, in prison, who need clothing and all those things. And yet we're letting government do all this, and we're complaining about governments being so big. And so I started to say to people, hey, why don't you step up? Why don't we step up? And that will help relieve and bring you a smaller government, less taxes, to put it that way, but it doesn't eradicate the fact that there's a need. And if you read through that parable, it's pretty powerful what happens to the people, to the goats, that don't pay attention, right, to the people that are thirsty and hunger and prison and things like that. And so it just got my mind going to pivot at that point to think about, wait, how do we use our investments, our times, our resources in a way to take care of the needy, to take care of the thirsty, to take care of people who need housing, who take care of people that are in prison? How do we do all that?